This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network. TalkSport. Powered by fans.
It's a goal! What a goal! It's absolutely world class from Marcus Tunde!
Johnson puts it in the air. Aidan Flynn wins the It's still with Lee Gregory. He's in the box. Tries to screw it. Is it going to be there? Yes! Oh my word!
The Wednesday week!
Hello, good evening and welcome to the episode of the Wednesday week FA Cup draw special. That's why we're a little bit earlier tonight. We're going to go through the FA Cup draw, see if we get a good draw, but what constitutes as a good draw, because, you know, we could draw Barcelona away at the Nou Camp and we'd still complain about it because we think we deserve a sexy tie. However, I would quite happily have a really low end tie or a big sexy one. So with me tonight, I've got John, Charlie and Ash. Ash is going to be watching the draw for me tonight. Charlie, what sort of fixture would you prefer this evening? We've got 31 other teams still in the hat. I don't know which ones they are. Should have had that information ready. But what sort of tie do you fancy?
I'm with you a bit on that. Like, either, you know, if it's going to be somebody that's going to batter us, make it a good team. But to be honest, it'd just be really nice to have somebody, you know, that we should stand a good chance of winning. Because, you know, obviously, because we're going to win the whole thing based on our most recent performance, why not let us have a bit of a break? Take one of the, you know, the easier teams out, and then we'll, you know, or save the easier teams for the final that we're obviously going to be in because we're winning the whole thing. So it's all fine.
Yeah, that would that'd be all right. What about you, John? I mean, do we need a cup run? I mean, what sort of fixture would you prefer?
Yeah, I don't think we need a cup run as such, because I think we're still in the bottom three, so we've obviously still got our minds focused on the league, but. I don't know. I quite fancy Man United at home, to be honest. I think it'd be a big crowd. It'd probably get televised, and we haven't played them for a long time, I don't think. So for me, I think something like that would be nice down at Hillsborough. Back
in my in the 90s, in my halcyon Sheffield Wednesday days, we used to beat Manchester United at Hillsborough, which sounds mental now, but that was a thing that we used to do. I remember Paolo Di Canio doing one of the worst overhead kicks anybody's ever seen, and it somehow, honestly, it was a right old game. What about you, Ash? Sat there doing bits. I mean, what are you feeling tonight? Are you feeling Rod Stewart, or are you feeling Martin O'Neill talking to the ball instead of the microphone? What?
Yeah, mate. I mean, I think I love the draw. I think for me, the magic is in the draw for the FA Cup. You know, because I think we saw in the last round the telly have took it out on the god awful draws they put on the TV. You want the minnows, you want the guys that have come through. So for me, the draw is great. I look forward to it. As in a game where I think this season we are league into it. It's got to be league's got to be the priority. So FA Cup for me, I'm going to go a London Premier League team away because I like my days out. You know that, Dan, home and away and all that. I like to somewhere that I haven't been to a state. I mean, the dream for me, and I'm not speaking for, is obviously Spurs Stadium away. Yeah. Because just purely because the stadium, sod Spurs and everything. It's just I'm being selfish. And then the worst would be any championship team at home, or away. Any championship team away.
Well, looking at the comments there, so we've got Scott's 24. He's gone with the pigs at home would be fun. I don't know, right? Because I don't think a cup run is what we need, especially against Sheffield United. I don't want to get drawn against them because, you know, they might beat us, and all of a sudden they've got bragging rights for something we don't really give a shit about. And then Dan's gone with. Have you got that one, Ash? Dan's gone with Cardiff away. Are you on crack, or do you live in South Wales, Dan? I mean, I don't want to play Cardiff ever again. Oh wait, no, they're not in it anymore. So lol. And then Sink's gone with. You can almost guarantee we get something like Coventry away, somewhere as uninspiring as Coventry. Now, speaking about uninspiring Coventry, there's rumours about George Byers going there. We'll talk about transfer rumours later on in the show. But Ginger Power at the bottom of the comments has gone with no derby match. It would be carnage. Now, but I don't want to run the risk of them getting bragging rights. for something. I don't really.
It's not for me. Not for
I
me.
It's not for me.
If we're playing them next season, it's because we've stayed up and they've gone down. So we'll go for that.
Yes.
So agree. Because it's like secretly I kind of hate derbies a little bit anyway. Like if we were where they are, I'd be like, bring it on. Why not? We're going to get relegated for Premier League, but why not? Why not beat them? But like, it's already stressful. It's just adds another layer, and I feel like it'd be such a morale killer as well. Like I feel like that Rule doesn't deserve that. He doesn't deserve to like have that on his manager sheet at the moment. So I feel like yeah, much better if we're playing them next season, it's because something great happened, not because we got a shit draw.
Absolutely. Now, is that your boy there?
Have you seen that? Like father, like son. He's downstairs. Look, he knows what it's about because he's not paying as well. That'll be me. I'm paying.
Also, Lewis, look at me now, right? Your dad was complaining about walking up that hill at Forest Green from Seven Sisters Tube Station. It's about a 30-minute walk to the ground. Now, there's plenty of places to get yourself refreshed on the way. Don't get me wrong, but if you thought that was complaining, wait till we get Tottenham away. Oh, right. What else we got? What else we got to talk about? Are we underway?
Yeah, we're underway. We've got. Just give you. I'm a bit commentating now, isn't it?
Yeah, you are.
Tom Howson would say the balls are out.
Not quite. We've got Gary Mabbott. Gary Mabbott's Spurs legend.
I'm just checking it off tweets. Yeah, Gary Mabbott.
Yeah, Gary Mabbott. Remember him? Yeah, so he's on. I don't know.
Can you remember when it used to be
that lady is? I do. If anyone's watching it,
David Davis or something who used to go, welcome to the fourth round of the FA Cup.
Oh God, what was his name? That was a spokesperson for the FA that Bobby Robson fell out with, wasn't it, during the '90 World Cup? And he used to sounded like he'd got cracked up on helium before he came on and go. That's genuinely how he used to speak, Charlie. But you'd have been a fetus.
What about you, Dan? What about you? Would you? What's your cup draw heaven and cup draw hell? I'm assuming I'm going to say Brighton away, but
Yeah, Brighton away would be absolutely bloody lovely. I'd really enjoy that. Brighton, London would be great. Actually, I must admit, I do like a London away day because, being the highly strung, impatient man that I am, the best thing about a London away day is that you can go anywhere in London and still have a good time, and it's not just going to be rammed with too many people. Because like when I met Blair in Baker Street, Baker Street Station's got this big lay-by in it, and it was just full of people, full of holding Tesco bags, just in that lay-by, just absolutely boshed off. And where you're like, oh, good Lord, I don't want to be here.
We're underway.
Go on.
And the first one is Watford are at home to Southampton. So
God.
that's one. Wow. That's two championship teams out. So good there.
What an amazing match.
It's a great. So we've got another Blackburn Rovers are at home, so they have another championship team. So it's looking good.
Oh God,
it's looking good.
It's exciting. Looking good for not drawing another championship team.
Look how they've got Wrexham. Wrexham have gone. So that
Wrexham are away at Blackburn Rovers. Now, interesting thing about Wrexham is that they're now starting to give it the beans on toast, aren't they, about how great they are. And you're like, lads, let's have a bit of humility now. Come on. We know why you're doing well. And it was a nice little story. But if you're going to stand there taking the piss, it's going to turn sour really quickly, isn't it, Charles?
Definitely.
So it's Bournemouth. So that's a long trip. Oh, my God. Bournemouth against Swansea. That's a trip and a half for Swansea fans.
It's not too bad. It's not too bad. South Wales it's all right. It's only a couple hour journey. That one, they'll be all right.
Another championship. West Brom are out. So it could be
I saw a tweet saying we're going to get West Brom away.
Did, yeah, they did. No, it's not West Brom. They are playing.
Yeah, we're getting through these.
Brentford or Wolves.
Oh.
Yeah, so yes, I mean, everyone watching this is probably watching it exactly anyway, so they're just listening to me.
Dan, the last cup draw talking to the balls was Martin O'Neill. He had his microphone in his hand, and every time a ball came up, he'd talking to the microphone and go, "Oof, Fulham."
I thought
it's Fulham away.
We got West Ham or Bristol against Forest or Blackpool.
Oh, that's a tasty one. Dan's just said home. Does that mean he fancies one at home, or is your? Are we at home against Coventry? Is that what's happening?
No.
Is that what people are telling me?
Unless I'm way behind. You know, my dodgy
I'm just thinking you might have a delay here, but home against Coventry. Did we not joke about that not 4 minutes ago?
Oh,
maybe.
no.
Oh,
That'd be terrible.
It would be. It is.
You don't want
That's
something
so
in the
shit.
league, there. It's just
No,
it's
boring.
Just like
16.
Squib, innit?
We're home. It's Coventry. Someone's got it. Oh, look at that. That is awful.
That is
You're way
absolute
behind.
shit.
Oh, look at that. We're way behind.
Redraw.
Yeah. Ben's
Put him back in.
Well,
Give
that's
it a
great.
check.
You're joking.
Fix.
I'm way behind, but
Coventry.
I'm on the ITV app, so they're way behind.
Oh, is that a guess?
Yeah, no,
Right,
that's
so
it. That's it. Home against Coventry. There we are.
Oh,
So there we
oh,
are.
yes,
Move on now,
boring.
shall we?
Let's move on from that because
That-
that's
that
about
is
it. It's inspiring as a potato. Yeah, isn't it?
So, thoughts on that, everyone? Comments, please. Here we are.
Wow.
This. I think this may sum it up.
Lead now.
Bleeding out.
Bleeding.
Bleeding hell.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
that is disappointing. Chelsea Villa. I don't even want to bother watching it. Everyone knows.
Yeah,
That's
turn it
why-
off, man.
Yeah, I'll
that's
take
like
right.
Cardiff, we've had to play twice at Hillsborough, once in League, once in Cup, and now Coventry.
Yep,
So
that's right.
Oh,
that's
dear.
pretty dire, that, isn't it?
The thing
Yeah.
is, we play them as well, don't we? Week before, I think it's the
Yeah.
week.
Oh,
Oh,
God.
my
When did,
God.
I
Double
thought
pass.
Cardiff had become the new Fleetwood. Now it's Coventry. What? Leave it. You would just not play the same teams over and over again. And
Look
then
at that,
bloody
look at-
Ipswich have got mixed in.
Ipswich.
Ipswich and Maidstone. Bastards.
We haven't played
What haven't
Coventry
they
for
got?
that.
What haven't they got? Like,
Oh.
everything. Fucking hate
We haven't played
Ipswich.
Coventry for over 10 years now. All of a sudden, you come downstairs and you can't get them out of your living room.
Yeah.
What's going
Yeah,
on with
never
that?
even heard
Coventry's
of
like
Coventry.
buses. Yeah, where even is it? Where
It's
even is
just
it?
Making places up now for FA Cup.
I mean, these some of the obviously one step close. It is. It's not the worst draw at home against a championship team.
True.
It's
So boring.
right.
This is not a way to Cov. Yes. Oh my God.
Seems
That would
right.
be so depressing.
Oh, I'll tell you what. I've switched it off, but Mark.
Well, how does that happen? How does that happen?
Tottenham
Fix.
against Man
Bloody
City.
fix.
Oh,
I'll
Scripted.
tell you what, one of my
So
best cup
scripted.
memories was when Atinuyu scored early doors, and I think we ended up getting beat about 2-1, didn't we? But there was a bit where for about an hour we had Man City on strings. It was amazing. Right then, so
I'm hopeful. Unforgettable fire here is on about the drawing, not us. You know,
Gag.
you know when comments just merge into each other. It could be us. I'm just gonna keep going. These Leeds against Plymouth now.
Okay.
We don't care about
All
Leeds, but
so
anyway.
Sheffield Wednesday rather uninspiringly have got a home tie against Coventry in the next round, making our recent endeavours at Hillsborough against Cardiff City not really worth it in the end of it. So let's get into it. Let's start now, John. It was a decent start, wasn't it? I what a start to a football match that was. I didn't know what was happening. I was still making a sandwich.
Yeah, it was a lightning fast start, wasn't it? I mean, Palmer back in midfield again, receives the ball inside, turns inside, feeds it to Windass. Windass, nobody around him, thinks, well, I'll have a pop. Arrows it into the bottom corner after 65 seconds or something like that. And, I think that Cardiff had brought like about a minibus full of fans up and they couldn't quite believe it. They were stood watching that go in, bottom corner. And there were some good goals in that game. It was just a shame that because of the fixture, didn't attract many fans, and obviously they closed the cup, didn't they, as well? But yeah, a cracking opening 65 seconds for Wednesday, straight on the front foot. Team-wise, he'd only rested a couple of players as well. Danny Rulli wanted to keep momentum. Didn't do wholesale changes, just a couple here and there, just to, obviously resting the young one and resting the older one in Bannon and Cadamarcha respectively, and got off to a flyer. But that was gotta say that's got to be one of the most bizarre 4-0 games I've ever seen in my life. I mean, we'll talk about the goals as we go on, but that was just a weird game. That.
Yeah, it really was. Now, Charlie, Liam Palmer in midfield. He's doing all right, isn't he? And all of a sudden now, there's rumours about George Byers leaving the club. He's only had a couple of good games. What's going on?
Yeah, it was. He's had such a good game. He's pushing other people out. Yeah, it was fantastic. It was great to see him, in that position. I mean, the goal was quite sensational as well,
Yeah.
actually, from Palmer. Like, I mean, not that we're always looking to Palmer to score goals, but he only ever scores. It's not so much he always scores worldies. He always scores like memorable goals, clearly.
Yeah.
But I think not enough credit, I think, goes to his assists as well. For again, like it was quite literally by the time you turned it on, sat down and looked, it happened, kind of thing. But it was he looked really comfortable, and I think it was a weird match because it wasn't like we absolutely trolled him the entire time. Like weirdly, the scoreline sort of didn't reflect exactly what was happening, but
it flattered
every
us.
time every time we looked to score, we kind of did pretty much. It was odd. It was like normally the amount of times where you'd be like that Windass shot early on. Normally it'd have been like, imagine if that had gone in after 65 seconds, but it did, and it was like same with Palmer, like sort of catching it just as he did. Like it was, it was really interesting, an interesting match and a great score rather than a great match and a great score, I think.
Yeah, there was a bit where I came in, turned the telly on, got sat down, and then watched the goal, and then I got up to make a sandwich, and nothing else happened for the next 5 minutes. Did it, Ash?
No, I mean, it was a great start, and I mean, I'll start with just saying about the starting lineup and everything, because I looked at it and I was hoping that it was going to make wholesale changes. I didn't want him for what he could do, because we are short on bodies, injuries and such like. So I was hoping he was going to make some changes, but he went with a pretty strong squad. 11 as well, which I was a bit worried about, because you always are with suspensions, injuries. If anyone picks anything up in what could be really a pointless game in the FA Cup, because like I said, our league position is paramount at the minute. So. But he said himself, like John said, that he wanted momentum. It must be part of his big thing, momentum. How he wants to roll on, just keep going. Do you like that? He wants to, and just keep the results coming in. They do say, don't they, winning breeds winning, and he cracked on. So, I mean, a front four, should we call it, with Windass just behind of Masaba, Gassama, Windass, and Fletcher. I mean. And then Palmer, Diaby. And I think defensively, it can only go with that 4-5 with keeper. Maybe Vasquez could have started, but obviously we know now that he was never going to, because it looks like he's on his way out, or he is on his way out, should I say. So I was quite impressed. But yeah, great start. Great finish by Windass. And then the penalties. Were they penalties? I think that's what I'm asking. What's everyone else think? Penalties? No penalties?
Didn't
first
see
one
it,
was
didn't happen.
soft. First one were a bit soft. I couldn't really see which second one, and even when I watched Inside, what's it bloody called?
The Match Day.
Inside Match Day. Even then, I looked at it, I was like, from their angle, I was like, still can't quite work out. But I think the first one was a bit pathetic, and I think nobody could really believe it. It being sort of so soon after we'd just kind of got this fantastic quick goal, but then, like Don said, it was nothing happened. So nothing.
Yeah, didn't happen. Nothing
you and
happened.
FA Cup Team of the Week seem to agree that nothing special at all happened for him. So
the first one was an interesting one, Ash. Like you said, there was minimal contact, and I didn't really see many Cardiff players going, "Hey up, pal, that's a penalty." And then they got one. And I went, "Wait, what?" What's penalty, is it? And then go on, John. I'll let you tell about what happened next. I didn't see it. I don't know what went off.
Oh yeah,
you are in denial. Sorry, John. Sorry.
It's all right. No, it's okay, mate. No, yeah. Their number 6 stepped up to take the penalty, and Cameron Dawson's given him the old grab all our legs, hasn't he? No, he didn't really. But what he did was he turned into the Ginger Boo fan, didn't he? And he saved it. Guess right low to his right hand side. It kind of flicked up in the air, didn't it? After he got a paw to it, and it just fell down safely into his arms. And then if they didn't go and get one, what? A couple of minutes later after that, it's like
3 minutes and 43 seconds were between the two penalties in terms of play time, and then we got to the second penalty. I think someone's there that Paul Valentin just smashed his leg in. The Simon there says the first penalty was a result of him slowing down into Masaba and falling over. I think they call that a body check. And yes, so Valentine's give away the second penalty. And then what happened then, Charlie? Because I didn't see it.
Well, I think, just fresh high off his success with the first one, he just thought, do you know what? I love saving penalties, mate. And then he did it again. And I think it almost, the reaction from the Cardiff players, like the second time, it was like, yeah. Like the first time when it saved, there was a bit of like, like we just got lucky enough to get a pen to maybe draw even, and we've got it saved, scuppered. But there was something in the way the second one got saved by they were like, yep, that seems about right.
Oh,
like it's just like absolutely no, like right, yeah. This is how this is going for us, sort of thing.
It reminded me of that scene in Friends where Chandler and Monica go to look at their new house, and in the background they hear, "Oh my God!" and then you watch Chandler and he goes, "Sure." Like there was kind of like an element of that to it.
The only thing that could happen. Can't a quite big saver pen. Ooh.
Oh God, are you ready? Because you're gonna.
Have I poked the bear with that one?
Right, listen. Oh God, right. This isn't me having a pop at Dawson at all. He saved 2 penalties. We kept a clean sheet. Fair play, right? Game before, I think he played really well as well. They were 2 shit penalties, though, weren't they?
Oh, they're only shit if he saves them. If he dives if he dives,
I've seen shit pens go in.
Yeah.
If it goes wrong way, it could be a shit pen. But if it goes wrong way, it's going to go in, isn't it?
But let's be honest. That first one is gone dive into the other side. He's picked the right side. Fair play, Cam, and that's what I'm not saying.
Yeah, he saved it. He's a goalkeeper. He got in the way of the ball. The ball didn't go in. He saved it. He's a keeper. He did his job. What do you want from the man?
He did.
What you're saying is, Dan, what you're saying, Dan, he didn't put it in the top corner bins. Like you see some penalties that they've just absolutely absolutely smashed it top corner, a la Kevin Pressman. Mate, I think you've always got to, if the goalkeeper keeps the ball out there in a penalty, I think you've always got to give props to the goalkeeper.
Okay.
You can't say shit pens.
Always.
If he'd have dived the other way and he trickles it in, like you'd have gone, well, it's a shit pen, but it's in. So
yeah, that's true.
I should have got to it. But let's not forget as well that Cameron Dawson has saved 7 of 14 penalties, which is quite remarkable, really, because goalkeeper success rates on penalties are nowhere near that kind of ratio. So whatever frailties he's got in his game, he's bloody good at saving penalties.
Yeah.
Ash, put that comment back up again.
I don't get it. Am I old?
Yeah, Dawson's nickname is Vampire because he's scared of crosses.
Because he's scared of crosses.
Yeah.
But a bunch.
But yeah,
for the comment.
Save 2 rapid fire fucking hell. Save 2 rapid fire penalties, and Sheffield Wednesday are maintaining their league. What Simon said there, Ash? He said, Dan. Oh, I got damned. That means I'm in trouble. He didn't save that penalty at Oxford, did he? You know the penalty that shouldn't have been. I don't, honestly, I can't remember.
Let's not open that wound up again.
No, let's not open that one.
With everyone's favourite ref.
That's it.
Yeah. Now, Sheffield Wednesday today have just signed a new goalkeeper. I'll be interested to see how that goes. I've had a lot of tweets today saying, I bet you're well excited.
How many pens has he saved?
Yeah. I've had a lot. And I'm like, there's a win-win situation in here for it. So if Beadle comes in and he's great. If Beadle comes in and Dawson ups his game and he's better and keeps him out, great. You know what I mean? It's a win-win. I'm all right with it. If it turns out that they're both pish, then not great.
We're in exactly the same situation, though, aren't we? To a certain extent, if they're both crap, then we are where we are.
He's done what else could he have done? Dawson. He saved 2 penalties, kept a clean sheet. We played. I think I agree. The 4-0. It wasn't a 4-0 game. If anyone understands that. You look at the stats that Cardiff brought up. I think they had 22 shots. They just did not take their chances, and that's what we've been accused of before in the past, isn't it? Not taking our chances. It just happened that Windass hit one from 22 yards, went into the bottom corner. Palmer hit one from virtually the same sort of distance, went in. The goal from a corner, which I think that's the biggest headline. For 400 and odd days, we haven't scored from a corner. We scored via Inekwe's head onto a defender. And then Wilkes scored as well. I mean,
I remember him.
Headlines.
Do you remember him?
Do you remember him when he came in his little dance? So let's go back there. So yes, second goal was Palmer, wasn't it?
No. Second goal was the
second
header
goal was the
from
corner. So Ihekwe has got in front of the defender. Now, when I first started going as a kid, when I was like 10, I used to turn to my uncle and go, "Why does the crowd always get really excited when we get a corner? Because we never score from it." And he went, "I don't know, Dan. You just have to." And that was 30 odd years ago, and it's still the same. And then for the first time, the ball comes in, and you go, "Yes, get in." There's a corner, and then it turned out it was an OG. I was absolutely devastated. I tell you what, I've got the. We'll get through the goals first. So what we've got now. Did Cardiff, John, have much to offer? I'm trying to think of where this came in, because I remember the second half they really came at us. The second half wasn't great to write home at for Sheffield Wednesday, was it?
No, not really. I mean, in terms of, like I said earlier, with it being this weird 4-0 game, Cardiff had quite a lot of chances, to be fair. And I think if that Callum Robinson had his shooting boots on, they might have made more of a game of it. But he were guilty of a couple of missed chances, Callum Robinson. And statistically, they were fairly even in possession. I think they had more shots than us and more on target. But unusually for us, we were the team that were clinical in a game as opposed to the opposition, and they just didn't take the chances, and we did, including a couple of a nice long range goal. So second half went up to the standard of the first in terms of that just a batshit crazy first half, weren't it? Early goal, 2 penalties saved, and own goal. So we're never going to live up to the first half, and I think we were just. They did come at us, like you said, down in second half. They did have a go at us and pressed us back a bit. I don't think we were great on the night, even though we were 4-0 winners. I do think there were some defensive frailties there, and I think Danny Rule pretty much alluded to it in his post-match interview. Said, he was happy with the result, not necessarily the performance. It was just one of them crazy games. It's just like, things just fell for us, and we managed to put the goals away. And
Sorry, I'm being attacked by this little knobhead here. I'm being attacked by the cat. I bought him a little neck scarf and he hates it, so he's come to tell me how much he hates it. Get
Sorry, but so we second half was they had some chances again, but again they couldn't put them away, and then we kind of put it to bed with Wilkes there, getting on the score sheet for the first time in a long time. Doing his little gritty dance to the half-empty North Stand. So there you go. South Stand even, yeah. So, and then Chaz, as I said before, a wild Wilkes appeared. Came coming Pokemon in. Remember him? They were coming at us, and that goal for me, I don't know, even though we're 3-0 up at the time, but that goal for me made me go, "Yep, we've won it now. We're all right."
Yeah, it was because all the business had happened in the first half, and like we've sort of been saying, like it felt more like a game that normally happens against us rather than for us, like that kind of everything we wanted went our way kind of thing. But then when nothing were happening in the second half, I was thinking maybe we're going to get our asses handed to us, like maybe it's going to be one of those crazy matches where it ends up 3-3 or something. But not only was it like a bit of a shot goal and came out of nowhere, it was like a really well taken goal, because he did have a lot of time and a lot of space, but it was like really measured, and you're like, where's this guy been? Like, you just like, I forgot we had a player called Wilkes. I forgot he even existed, let alone which is why his celebration really made me laugh, because I was like, I wonder how long he's been waiting to do that. Just like, he's been thinking, when I score. Like,
when Ian Wright broke Cliff Bastin's record back in Christ knows when, like the late 90s, early 2000s, he had a Nike vest underneath his shirt, and it said 179 just did it. It was a bit of a slight on the "just do it" phrase that Nike used at the time, and I think it went on like a barren spell for about 5 or 6 games. And you could see this T-shirt like just oh god, but the interesting thing is that in the first 7 minutes of that game, I had more fun watching those 7 minutes than the entire time under Josh Luque added to Chisco Muno. Like that was a lot going on, wasn't it? Like
and that is high praise, since 2 of the incidents involved your favourite player as well, Cameron Dawson.
So what we got on the interwebs, Ash? What we got in discussion points here?
Oh, we're going to get on to all this, but we'll stay with Dawson, shall we? Should we stay with Dawson?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, the man of the minute in different ways. Obviously, from his exploits the other night to obviously a bit of competition that's coming. There you go. What about that one, Dan, as well, from your last? Forgot about that, didn't you?
I actually forget that Tony
shall
Pulis
not be
actually
named.
existed. Yeah. In with the stick together Lego cap that we gave him when he. I still absolutely can't believe that actually happened. But yeah, I forgot that Pulis actually existed. And I remember once it was about a week after Tony Pulis had gone, and we had Terry Curran on the show, and he went in on him, didn't he? He went, I just thought like football they were playing. He was raging about it. And he was sat there in his leather chair trying to work out how the internet worked. It was absolutely amazing.
I mean, Blair's got a weird hobby, but I mean, that just takes the biscuit for me.
I'll get the slogan right one day, lads, won't I?
So Blair there plumping for up the shagging cats.
Well, that's what he does in his private life and not on the podcast. I don't care.
Yeah, I'll not put that on a t-shirt. Now, Ash, I know you're one for statistics, so I got the stats ready. A lavash. Now, the interesting thing here for me is shots. Cardiff came at us, didn't they? Yeah. They just kept slapping one in the first opportunity they got, didn't they?
They did, yeah, of course. But like I said, isn't it? It's good to not good, but it just shows that on the receiving end of that is that the defence have stood strong. The Cameron Dawson's done his job, Dan.
Yeah.
9 shots on target to our 6. They did have. You look at the 4-0.
Yeah.
You'd have gone, oh my God, Wednesday have absolutely battered him.
Yeah.
But if you'd have gave me this stat sheet without knowing the score, you'd have gone, oh, that looks a bit of a draw, or I think Cardiff might have sneaked that 1 goal.
Yeah.
They just totally just could not find, well, shots on target. They managed to find the net on target 9 times, but 2 of them were penalties and 2 saves.
The interesting one there for me is the possession stats. Knowing how that second half went and how much of the ball they had and how much they had the potential to absolutely kick our ass, for us to still get the, albeit very slim, lion's share of the percentage at 51% is actually impressive. And I just absolutely love skinny leg Danny Rule. He's my absolute fave. Ash, what else we got from the Tinterwebs?
Right, let's.
Blair turned into Kurt Zuma.
Oh no!
But one louder.
Ben, man, Ben, come on. Yeah, so we're on to the next round, aren't we? So,
what's that? It felt like we had a flipping force field around our goal, and the way that first Penno save dropped into Cameron Dawson's hands looked so cool. I'll not lie to you, Slaps. That really pissed me off that he didn't get up and catch it. It annoyed me. All right, it's one of them that you look. Yeah, it's one of them that you look back on and go, yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm cool as shit. Me, look how cool I am. But if that striker had anything about him and dived over the top of him and nodded it in, I'd have gone absolutely apoplectic. We didn't, so it looked all right. But cool. It gave me palpitations. It gave me emperor palpitations. Star Wars gag for you there, kids.
Yeah, there's all. I mean, we can wrap up the game because there's quite a lot of obviously comments on Beadle, Dawson's positioning in the club, not on the pitch, because that's been questioned, hasn't it? But so I mean, yeah, if you want to wrap up that, and we can get into some of these what some of these guys have done, will be great.
Let's do it then. So, yes, Sheffield Wednesday came out 4-0 winners into the next round to have a tasty, absolute tussle at home. Like, I'm just trying to think of something really uninspiring. Like when you go to, I don't know, where you go like McDonald's, right? And we all know that the elite McDonald's breakfast is the sausage and egg McMuffin. And then you think, I'm going to treat myself and have the bacon. And it's crap. And it's that McDonald's bacon that they have. Or like one of them McDonald's flatbreads. You think, oh, it's got melted cheese on it. It's got bacon. What's not to like? And then you get it and go, that's what Coventry City is. It's McDonald's bacon. That's what that cup tie is. So, yeah, what else we got? Oh, God. Have I got to sing this now?
You've got to sing like that.
So Slappy on the back of Dawson's catch goes, I like it, I like it. I like it, I like it. La, 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 I like it. Here we go. Super Cameron Dawson in goal. Oh, no. He's got a song now. Cam Dawson's got a song.
Clip that. Oh. Anyone, clip that for Dan.
Watch me saying it through gritted teeth. So, yes, Ash, that's Cardiff City done with. On today is the day that we've signed... what's his first name? I've been calling him Jeremy with my tongue firmly in teeth.
James. It begins with a J, but it's James.
I'm going to go with Jamie, just to try and see. When somebody corrects me, I can go. Yeah, that's what I said. So James Beadle, poor Oxford. They've had their Premier League on loan goalkeeper taken off them and then loaned straight back out. And I think we kind of announced it at the same time. There was a tweet from them and a tweet from us going, he's returned to his parent club, Brighton. And then we're all there going, here he is, look, here he is. And in the same minute. That's going to be interesting, that one. John, have you done any reading on the man? Have you seen anything? I know he looks like the Joker without any makeup on, but apart from that.
Not really. I mean, the only thing you typically get to go on these days, you've not it's been linked, but until you sign him, you don't really have too much to look into it. Is the YouTube videos, which make everyone look like brilliant. Any player can look brilliant on YouTube, but there are a few testimonials from Oxford fans that one of them in particular says he'll go on to play for England. He rates him that highly. He says he's a brilliant keeper. Brilliant shot stopper, and he's one of those sort of modern day sweeper keepers, so he can come out with it at the back, which is a bit of a bone of contention with Wednesday night. It's why I would play at the back sometimes. You can guarantee there's always a groan on the cup when that's going on.
It's not so much that, John. For me, it's like Dawson gets the ball, he'll pass it to the centre back, it'll come back, he'll pass it to the other centre back, come back, and then centre back to the full back, come back, and then we'll do these 4 or 5 passes, then whack. Look, what was the point in that?
It's a style that sometimes you think, is it really befitting of lower league football? Because you see Man City do that, and they'll pass you all the way up from their end of pitch to your end of pitch. But like you say, we go this all the way across the back line, then launch it long. Then what was the point? But it's interesting because he's around the same age, or probably a little bit older than Pierce Charles, who obviously we've got high hopes for and come through the academy. I think we're now looking at maybe shipping him out on loan to get him some game time. But obviously Dawson, I think, is around 28, and this lad's 19, and he's come in with a good reputation, and he knows the good reputation being because he's been recommended by our goalkeeper coach who's worked with him before. Bibbo, I think, is our goalkeeper coach, isn't it? He's worked with him before, so he's obviously put a word in there and said, look, this lad's going to be a player. I'd like, if you're looking for a goalkeeper, to either to put pressure on Cam, or if you actually rate him above Cam, then this is your man. So he was announced earlier, and I think he's quite a tall lad as well. I think he's about 6'3" at least. So
on Wikipedia it said he's 11'6".
Yeah. He's got a dominant hand, as you might expect with a name like Beadle, but
let's have a big hand for that gag.
Wow. That's the highbrow sort of stuff you get on this show.
Let's see how quick he forces his way into the side.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, Charlie, I've got to talk about this, and I'm going to try and fart around the poo with it in the way I ask you it. Now, imagine being 28 years old. Now, as a professional footballer, you should be Yeah, you're gonna have to really think back here, Chess. You're gonna have,
Cast
you have
my
to,
mind back.
yeah, casting right back to what 2021. There's like, you're meant to be at the top of your game at 28. How and we all know that Cameron Dawson is a confidence player, and there's a few times where he's been shouted at by some of our players, and it kind of gets his head down a little bit, and he loses his confidence a bit, or the crowd will get on his back and he'll lose his confidence a bit. How's his confidence going to be after some child 10 years younger than you comes sashaying in and takes your jersey? You know what I mean? Football's a tough business, isn't it?
It is, and I think we've said this about Dawson before, and it's not just him. Players in general, like there's always somebody that takes all the stick, and you think, well, yeah, all right, you're only as good as what you do on the pitch, but at the same time, if all you're getting is pelters online, all you're getting is pelters, like from fans, even from your own players, you're not going to become better necessarily. That doesn't always motivate people. Like I was reading. Is the Time for a Winner book last night, and they just mentioned something about one of the players mentioning things seen on social media. So it's like they do see that, like they do, that information does come to them. You're fucked, man. They do see those things, and it's hard, isn't it? Because most of us, if we had a shit day at work, wouldn't then have to come home and read about it all on Twitter. But at the same time, with the greatest of respect to Dawson, like when he's not awful all the time, he can't be awful all the time, but at the same time, he's not consistent. The only thing he's consistent at is being inconsistent. And if he's 28 now, kind of at the sort of having had the peak, maybe starting to just kind of tip over that, it's like if we were ever going to expect him to turn brilliant and fantastic and consistent, we probably would have seen this now. This is probably last chance saloon. If the one thing that's ever going to send him into overdrive is exactly like you say, like a younger, not as experienced, but with like good credentials comes in. If that doesn't turn him into Super Cam Dawson, then nothing will. And you would have to then argue that he's maybe had his chance. If he was 25, might be a bit different. But once you're starting to get close to 30, that's when you're like, if not now, then when? But also he has also took a lot of pelleters and put up with a lot and still does turn up. Do you know what I mean? Like he could have bottled it with Vasquez a little bit, and we're not really quite sure exactly what went on there, but that could have been something that knocked him out of favour, and it didn't. And maybe that says more about Vasquez than it does about Dawson, but he still has worked against a lot of that shit that he's got, and it obviously hasn't put him off.
He's
begging
overcome
to go out on loan, is he?
Yeah, he's overcome a lot of adversity, especially with you lot on this show slagging him off every week. Like, you know what I mean? He's really done well. Like, he really has, and I wish him all the best.
He's up for a fight, isn't he? He's been here before. He had that constant battle with Joe Wildsmith, didn't he, when they were both coming to the academy?
Which, the benefit of retrospect, John, that we had Mark Crossley come on the show a few years ago, and he said it was me that said keep both of these lads because they were going to let one of them go, and at the time it was going to be Dawson, and then we tried to drag up two young keepers underneath Westwood. How would that ever have worked? And then finally we pulled the trigger and let Wildsmith go, and then there we are. We've got a solid number 2, and behind in the sticks, a solid number 13, as it were. He can do it. He's all right. Needs a bit of confidence, but he can drop in and drop out. But I think my issue with him is sometimes he goes. I think Jeff Hatcher on Twitter tweeted me and said, like, he goes from the sublime to the absolute god awful in the space of 4 minutes. Like, something can really switch between the two. And yes, it's a confidence issue, but I can't work it. Has he had a chance? Because I think he has. As soon as he came in for that that derby against Sheffield United and he rescued a 0-0 draw, that was him putting a claim on that shirt. And I was like, yep, great. And then as we've got there, like Sharman there says, my Exeter mates love Dawson. They'd have him back in a heartbeat. Do you know why? Because he ain't got people shouting at him like us on the internet, us in the crowd, and Barry Bannon wanting to win, right? Because it fucks him, doesn't it?
It may also just been the league he was in. He was their player of the season on loan, weren't he?
True.
He went out on loan, and he may have been. I don't want to say it because he has been found his league. Yeah, and that's 2 leagues below, and he did find his league. But I totally agree with everything you said, Dan, and Charlie as well about somebody coming in, and he did fight with Stockdale last season. He has fought with Vasquez this season, and whatever reason that Vasquez didn't play a minute under Danny Rule, for whatever that is, and his confidence now, he's just seen on the internet today that obviously, he'd have known anyway, they've brought in a keeper, 19-year-old, that has been playing in League One, who's on loan from a Premier League team, playing in League One, playing really well for Oxford, coming in. Basically, what Danny Rule said is, Dawson, you've played the last 16 games, but on the first chance I get to bring someone in, it looks like I might have to drop you. Or he's brought him in to say, look, this young, hungry kid's come in, it's going to push you. Not like Vasquez, who probably he was here going, what's the point? I'm not going to play, type of thing. So
Ash, if that was true, what have we said to Beadle? Like, why would he leave regular first team football to go upper league to sit and stare at someone's ass? Like, you know what I mean? We must have assured him some kind of playing time, and Brighton that we must have assured him some playing time. And you're right, it is harsh on Cam, because out of the two with him and Vasquez, it's like very much like, Cam, you're my keeper. We'll send the other kid back. Oh, by the way, here's your replacement as well. It's harsh, isn't it? Like, go on. What's the word on the interwebs, Ash? Let's have some more talking points here. Has Devis officially gone? We've had no official word yet as to whether Vasquez has departed. The fact that we've had a keeper on loan from Italian giants AC Milan and not played him, who do we think we are?
There is that.
Something's gone there. There's some. I'd love to know, because it's like, without trying to be awful, it can't just simply be that he's actually shit in training, and therefore Danny Rule looks and goes, I'm not even trying to slag Dawson off there, but there's something like there's some kind of clause where he didn't get played enough, and then he didn't, or he's got blog on, like, because he pretty much had the shits and then never played for us again. Like, he was sick, wasn't he? It was like, he's sick. He played what, 2-3 games for us? 3?
9.
Yeah.
9.
Not many.
That's how long ago it is.
9, yeah.
He started the first 9 games. He was Cisco's keeper.
And obviously, he's not going to feel good about that. That'd give me the shits, because, playing under Cisco like that and feeling responsible for a lot of how crap all that is going to be. All right, fair enough. But he literally had, he was poorly and then never returned.
We never saw him. Do you know what it was like,
Hillsborough,
Charlie?
Anywhere. Like, it
was
bizarre.
like when 5 were on the way down and Sean didn't start turning up for any of the shows, and then Sean's sick. That geezer was sick for about 15 years until they started doing the nightclub circuit, and then Abs decided to drop out, and they needed somebody to bring in because Jay just weren't having it. What we're talking about? I tell you what, Ash, you can't let that one slide. What's that one say there? All banter side, but you got to agree with there, Top Shagger. Yeah, that's right. It doesn't say that what I just read out, but that's what I'm calling it.
It did say, banter side, Fudge. Got to totally agree with you there, Shagger.
Yeah, I'll take it. Up the shagging, Fudge.
Like you were saying there, though, Charlie, that's where the rumoured clause is, isn't it? The game 10 apparently was going to cost us money if there was. That was the rumour. So we
poisoned him.
We
poisoned him and gave him the shits so we could send him back. He had special chicken that night. No. Here's yours, Devis. Special plate just for you. Oh, really? Thanks. Oh, we always do medium rare chicken here. Middlewood Road special. Oh, all right. Scoff. What? Fucking Chancery peeking around the restaurant like, it's Devis eating his special chicken. Good.
Yeah, Dev. Yeah, I've made it special. Chairman special. Thai curry for you. Yeah.
That's just saved me X amount on
special tuna just for you.
But the thing is, it is a bit, because I'm only taking this on my Championship Manager, Football Manager days. When he plays 10 games, it's either you owe him so much more, or he extends his contract, or you have to pay him whatever.
Sorry, I'm still thinking about chicken. I'm going to mute myself.
Chef Shansiri. Do you know what? I was going to call this episode Blue Birds, but I'm going to go with Chef Shansiri. I'm going to make a note of that.
But
maybe got a bit of cake ball stashed away in the fridge or something.
There must have been some. I can't. we'll never know, obviously, unless Danny Rule or somebody wants to say. But there must have been something to play 9 games on the trot without any sniff because of anyone else coming in, Dawson, anything, and then him to lose his job, and then obviously Dawson straight in. I think Thompson brought him straight back in, didn't he? Brought
straight back in.
Dawson and a few of the others, and then Danny Rule's come in and just Dawson's just been his man without any hint. Sometimes you do, don't you? A new manager might want to see both keepers.
Yeah,
you might want to play him in a
That's
cup.
true. He didn't even play him for the cup. That is
Yeah.
so true. And and it's not even like, he was on the bench. So he's been named as the sub every time. So it's not like he's literally gone. Do you know what I mean? He's clearly still got he's got a shirt. Presumably he's got a locker. Do you know what I mean? He still clearly was part of Sheffield Wednesday Football Club, but just that was it. Just to turn up, sit on a bench, watch and go. And that is, that's insane. And if he hasn't gone, what does that mean? If we don't get an announcement that he's gone back, what does that mean? That now we have...
what we're doing? What's happening?
Now we're collecting keepers.
Let's get him Oxford.
What's going to happen?
You're getting GoFundMe to send him back.
If Pierce Charles gets sent out on loan, you're going to have Dawson, Beadle, and Vasquez. Now that's 3 very competent keepers, but then you're looking at Beadle going, well, he's the youngster, he might be the 3rd choice. But like we said earlier, Brighton aren't going to want him to come and sit 3rd choice on the bench just to warm Dawson or Vasquez up before the game. So there is going to be something there.
Not when we're playing regular at Oxford, is it? So.
Of course,
exactly.
Yeah, and like we said, it's a league above. He's just signed a new 4.5-year contract, I believe it was, at Brighton. So they obviously do fancy him. They rate him highly and want him to play and get the experience as high up the leagues.
We have to. There's no way we would bother. If we were losing Vasquez, we're technically losing choice number 2. Therefore, if we were only getting someone in to replace him, we'd be bringing somebody in who was suitable for sitting on the bench.
Tell you what.
The only thing we can be doing is bringing him in to play.
I'll tell you, I can tell you what can see happening. Exactly the same as what happened with Vasquez. I'm going to get cock teased into thinking we've got a new goal here. He's going to be great. And then give it a few months and Dawson's back in the sticks. That he's seen off. He's seen off Stockdale, Vasquez. He's seen off. Who was that? Bailey Peacock Farrell came in after him. That was the year. That was the year he was in Exeter, wasn't he? Came in after him. Seen him off. Got his shirt back. He's seen off a lot of goalkeepers as Cameron Dawson. He's got tenacity. I'll give you that as the kid.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's not going to be the only player that's going to be fighting for his shirt, is he? In the next few months.
No, not
January's open, isn't it? January's open. Yeah. And we're all hanging our hats on what's going to happen. So today there's don't you just love January rumours?
Yeah, go on. What we got, Ash?
I tell you what, this may cheer up some people. Adam, we've got his first sighting. Adam's seen Lee Gregory in Mountain Warehouse at Fox Valley yesterday, so he's still hanging around. He says,
I don't know any of those 2 locations that he's named there. What is Mountain Warehouse and where is Fox Valley?
Mountain Warehouse is like an outdoors, like a
Millets.
Outdoor clothing, like a regatta.
Yeah, outdoor clothing. Fox Valley is between Sheffield, Stocksbridge bypass. Down there, they've built a nice shopping. You've been out of Yorkshire for too long, Dan. They've built a nice outlet-y type place with food and restaurants.
Down the road from me.
He might be on his way somewhere, though.
So
I mean, he might be going to play somewhere really cold that he needs a big waterproof for. Hull. Oh
no!
Just even saying that
stick. Somewhere other side at Pennines where he's going to need a big coat. We've got a couple of comments here, Ash, about Georgie Byers. Oh, hang on, what we got there? We've got to sign Connor Coventry now, so the headline could say Coventry scored against Coventry. I'd rather just not play fucking Coventry, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If we're wishing for shit.
We've got Gary, not from Fox Valley, but Gary Fox. Byers to Blackpool has been one of the rumours today. So what's his thoughts on that one?
It's
sad.
A shame.
It's sad, but it isn't wrong. Does that make sense? It's sad because he's Georgie Byers, but if you weren't Georgie Byers and you were just looking at him totally cold, really, should he go while before it turned sour. I don't know. It sucks. I don't know.
What about you, John? What do you think?
Yeah, I'm just gonna say it seems like it's the fall of George Byers, isn't it? I mean, it was like this guy was like one of the first names on the team sheet, really, not that long back, when we were actually cruising at top of League One. George Byers seemed to be chipping in with his near post headers and saluting the crowd every other week, didn't he? And
it's weird you've said that, John. Ash, put that comment up.
There we go. There we go.
It's a bit harsh on the lad who we know from just saluting. It's not one of my favourite players, but I don't know if his contract's out in the summer. So, but I mean, if he's not going to get game time, I'd love him to go and get game somewhere else. Come back in the summer, refreshed, and heaven forbid, whatever league we're in. Obviously, we'll be in the Championship, but you still got to have one eye, haven't you? Just in case. It's a shame for me. I think injury, and I think it was an illness or something that he's had, or injury or something that's just curtailed his season a bit, and he's just not managed to regain the player that we did have, or we have got.
Ash just said curtailed. I'm going to make a note of that. Yeah, you're right. And I tell you what, you can't talk about George Byers without talking about Gaz Robinson saying that him, Bannon and Volts were his favourite triangle, don't tell the missus. And I kind of, there was a period in League One where those two, sorry, Charlie, I very rarely tell a joke. And don't get me wrong, it wasn't mine, where I get that face where they're like, fucking hell, fudge. Yeah, I know. It was Gaz. It weren't me. But yeah, there was a point where those three were the best midfield in the league. You know what I mean? They should have challenged anybody. And then as our season started to fall off the rails somewhat around March, April time at the end of the League One season, it coincided with Bannon, with Byers falling injured a lot of it. It is a shame because there's definitely a player in there. He's just not had the rub of the green this season, has he?
No, I think my mate. I think this is my mate Steve. He's just gone with. Now he's either not typed his name out fully, or he's not impressed, or what. But yeah, he just said bye. So I don't think he's impressed with George Byers.
Or he's just sat watching this on the internet and gone, "This is rubbish." This bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
And I think this, for me, guys, and I think this is going to be one of the most endearing memories of George Byers.
Oh, yeah.
The turn.
That turn, yeah.
It was a year ago yesterday, I think it was. Maybe, yes. I think it was a year ago yesterday. Yeah, for...
Go on, Steve.
No, he's right. No sentiment for time to move on.
Move on. See you later.
Straight to the point.
Here we are talking about 15 minutes about how harsh it is on Cameron Dawson, and then Steve just goes with no sentiment in football. It's time to move on. Right, listen, what we got coming up, because we've done an hour here talking to the interwebs. What we got? I mean, who's coming up, Smash?
We've got more. I don't know if he's had it. We're not transfer rumours.
Carry on, mate.
Yeah,
Let's do it.
It's January, isn't it? We've got loads. We've apparently rumoured with a young striker, German striker.
Is this the FC Basel one?
Basel one, but he's injured, so that probably does about right.
For he'll fit right in then.
There's... I don't know.
Chansiri started following Timo Werner.
So jot that down.
Yeah, that's... here we go. Maurice Mason, Dean says, a 23-year-old German striker.
What German people's called
Sounds
Morris?
like a painter and decorator, doesn't it? Oh, Maurice.
Now get Moz on it. Moz will sort you out. He'll give you a good price.
Yeah, he transferred from Augsburg in the summer, so he's only been there 6 months himself. He's been.
So what's wrong with him?
He's been out injured. Well,
right.
You don't know, dear, but he could just fancy the Sheffield Wednesday project. You don't know. This is it with Danny Rule. You're going to get players that you've not heard of. He's going to probably know people that you're going to think and get excited. Like, I don't know, if you see his highlight reel on YouTube, he's scored some cracking goals, but you just don't know, do you?
No.
Well,
I could put one together that made me look like a world beater. Sorry, go on, John.
Yeah. No, I was just going to say there's that guy who I think he works for Sun. You know, Alan Nixon, who usually has a few tidbits of sort of transfer gossip. He still reckons we're interested in Scott Hogan, but I would stay clear if I were.
Ash can pile onto this because last night, for some reason, he was on a Birmingham City podcast, weren't you?
I was, yeah. Got invited onto a Birmingham City podcast to talk about Wayne Rooney and Scott Hogan.
And what's your knowledge on Wayne Rooney and Scott Hogan, Ash?
Not great, to be honest. But, you know, I tried. Not for me, Scott Hogan. And I've since looked at all the comments on the said video on YouTube, and they are basically saying, Ash, we will drive him there ourselves.
Yeah.
Get rid. Chef Wednesday are looking for goals. Can't believe they're sniffing at Hogan. So, and not Paul Hogan, Scott Hogan. You just got sorry.
Yeah. Snappy Gilmore's gone with that. I'd rather have Hulk Hogan, brother.
Brother. But yeah, not for me. I did a bit of background on him. Yeah, he's 31. He's not getting game. What I said to the guy, and everyone might have their own thing of it, is like they're desperate for wins. They're dropping like a stone under Rooney, and he fell out of favour with Rooney. If he's a striker with any sort of anything about him who can score goals.
Yeah, if you can't pick out up off Rooney, who can you pick something off? You know what I mean? He's playing at the highest level, isn't he?
We've had a message there from Ben saying, check Alex Miller on Twitter, Ash. Now, we could do some breaking news here, Ash, live on the interwebs. That's exciting, isn't it?
Oh, here we go.
While we're doing it...
Season tickets back on sale.
There you are, yeah. While we're doing it, Charlie, we've got Saints coming up. Let me give me a prediction for Southampton, because they've been going great guns of late. I feel it's got the potential to be a cricket score. I reckon they'll spank us about 3-0.
Whoa. Sorry, Daniel.
What we done?
Live from Alex Toady Miller. Understand Al's vice captain Liam Palmer is of interest to clubs in the US. The 30-year-old is in his final months of contract, so he's eligible for pre-contract move, but has spoken of a desire to stay and chase appearance list.
No.
Now, it's either that he's on about, or I was going to come up with something really funny for Alex then, but I can't. It must be that, because that was 10 minutes ago. So
not much sentiment for the Sheffield Wednesday fans there. So Steve again, bye, and get out.
Palmer. Oh, gee, it's a good job Steve is not on this.
Palmer,
Charlie.
never injured, hardly ever injured, always puts a shift in. Literally, what was he playing? Was it last season? He was player of the season.
Yeah.
Like, if there's one player you're allowed to be sentimental about, it's him. I'm sorry, bollock. He can live at my house for free, and I'll pay his wage, and he can stay forever. That's nuts.
To be fair,
you know, like
I thought he already lived there.
You know, you were saying earlier, Dan, that Cam's won all those battles and he's still around. Liam Palmer won even more battles to still be around.
And he's
that
way
guy
more
went from
consistent.
playing
Way more consistent.
Field right back.
Sorry, John. Your internet. Sorry, John. Your internet slowed down a bit there, pal. My apologies.
Dropped me off on it.
I think they've had a weekend, and then he's gone back to work, and I think Steve has had a really bad day at work.
I'll drive him. Oh, there's going to be 50-50 in the comments here, isn't there?
There is. Oh, this. Hey, I like a bit of breaking-ish. Rumour mill breaking. It's not really. It's Alex. He's probably. To be fair to the local journos, though, they're not that bad, are they? They must have proper good sources and stuff. So I think
absolutely.
Joe Cran said about Beadle about 3.5 weeks ago.
I think they tend to only. Yeah.
Palmer's a legend.
Thank you.
Palmer needs a statue.
Thank you.
Look at this.
Me on all my accounts, that.
Nobody's taking palms.
Yes.
Somebody check on
I know a few
TV.
people take palms, but
I don't think he wants to go, and he's 32. Yeah. So I think he'd do anything he could to stay. And I think even if he wasn't always like starting, I think he is a very, very, very good asset. And I think it would be absolutely nuts to let him go. Particularly because he wants to be here. And I'm sorry, there's a hell of a lot to be said for it's like someone who really wants to be here and really wants to play. Will you go down if he goes? That's how
devil's
vital it
advocate,
is.
just for 2 seconds here, Charles, though. Do we not feel like holding on to this sentiment might have been our downfall over the last few years? Let's just, let's move forward.
No.
I trust our manager implicitly. And if he doesn't think that Palms is good enough.
Well, there you go. I think there you are, Dan. I think everyone, it's a great question because everyone has been saying, trust Danny Rule bringing these players or what everyone's saying. On that flip side, you've got to trust who he wants to get rid of. He might not want to get rid of Palmer, though. Come on, it is just a rumour. And it might just be, like Windass with that Argentinian team. And then he followed him on TikTok or something. I don't know. It's a rumour. He like I said, he's steadfast. But then again, if the manager does see something in, he can get him out and bring someone in. I can't imagine a Palmer's on your anywhere near the top earner, so it's not going to be a money thing for me to get rid of him. So
I think it's a football playing thing. He probably wants to play some more football.
He is playing football, though, isn't he? Or what he's saying
he was injured, and it took him some time to get back to where he was. But and I think he wasn't getting played, but he has been played under Rule, and I do agree with that. I do effectively what ever Danny says, I say fine. Yeah, if it ends up happening, and it's but I genuinely think it would be nuts, and I think it's not the same as like with Byers where you have to just with the Byers thing reminds me of like with Luongo where you're like when he's not smashed to bits 15 times a season, absolutely mint, fantastic, but he's smashed to bits all the time. Can't say that about Palmer. He's so rarely ever injured, so rarely ever misses, and he just he always puts a shift in. I think it would be absolutely
Tell you
nuts.
what though, Ash, if he does leave, you are going to reach straight out and see if you can get him on this show, right? That's that's job one. I'd love to have Stevie just sat there fangirling in the corner.
If I don't know if my boy's still watching, but that's a job for him.
Yeah.
He knows what his role is in that one.
Right then, Chaz, away at Southampton, what are you thinking?
Well, it's a bit like what you said. By rights, they should probably spank us. But if this, under Rule, if this has been anything to go by, then they won't, because it always seems to be the ones that should spank us that don't. I think we've had a fairly good record recently against some of the harder teams. I think it'll put us to the test. Why not? 2-0 Wednesday. Why not?
Crackhead.
Why
Absolute crackhead. What about you, John?
Yeah, I think after the cup game, which it's a bit of a shame that it wasn't a league game, to get another 3 points to get us in a better position. But a win's still a win, no matter the competition. So the confidence is up. However, Southampton is a tough game. They've found the feet. They're up there now, aren't they? It's a long journey for Wednesday nights. I think it might just be a game too far for us, this one. I think 2-0 Southampton.
2-0 Southampton. But Chaz has gone 2-0 the other way, so
Oh, we'll have a draw then.
I've gone with losing 3-0. Sinker's gone with 2-2. Not a bad shout. I tell you what, I moved to Southampton in 2006, and it was just as they went tearing up the league. So we only really caught each other for a couple of seasons, and then. Well, I've seen them lose. Wednesday, we've lost 2-0. We've lost on penalties. You know what I mean? And we seem to be 2 leagues away from them. And I live there, and it annoyed me. Scotch has gone with 1-1. What about you, Smash?
They're 18 unbeaten, so it's
Jesus Christ.
What?
They're 18 unbeaten at the minute. They've flown up the league. They're currently 3rd. Overtook Leeds. It's a tough ask, but. I mean, we played them at their strongest this season as well, didn't we? First game of the season, Premier League, Southampton. They still had Teller, still had Ward-Prowse. I mean, I keep saying that home form is going to be what saves us. Anything away, draw-wise, is going to be, especially against the top half of the table. I'm going to go for a draw. 1-1. We score first. They get a lucky 83rd minute equaliser. But it's going to. I think it'll be.
To me, that's one of them games where you look at it. You know, it's coming up now. You kept the majority of your side for the Cardiff game. You had a go, you won. Your momentum's still there. Your confidence is still there. Just go there and have a go. It's a free hit. You've got nothing to lose.
It is a free hit.
You're probably expected to lose anyway, aren't you? So you may as well just go there and have a go. And then focus, like Ash was saying earlier, win your home games.
And then meat on the fire. It's that time. Right, before I wrap this up, that was an extra 10 minutes bonus time you got there. Before I wrap this up, does anybody have any other business?
Nothing from me. Nothing from me.
Just a quick one. Just to say that I think we lost Franz Beckenbauer today.
Yep.
Sadly passed away. One of the all-time greats who actually played at Hillsborough in the '66 World Cup and actually scored at Hillsborough as well. And I think he was the only German to win the World Cup as both a player and a manager. So he's one of the greats, and I'm sure he'll be missed by the football world.
Absolutely, yeah, he will be. He was the one that started that ball-playing centre-back role. Instead of just being a big telegraph pole at the back shouting his own name and heading it back, like I played football like that a lot of years. He could actually play football. Listen, thanks a lot for joining us this evening. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for staying with us and talking nonsense with us. See you later.
This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network. TalkSport, powered by fans.
It's a goal! What a goal! It's absolutely world class from Marcus today.
Johnson puts it in the air. Aidan Flynn wins the It's still with Lee Gregory. He's in the box. Tries to screw it. Is it going to be there? Yes! Oh my word!